I am resident of Colorado for YouTube. Jules Sains, there's my buddy Patrick McCray, there's my buddy Butch Rosenbalm, there's my buddy Alan Gallant. We are here to review Star Wars The Force Awakens. Guys, when did you first see this movie, Alan?
I first saw Mother Jugs and Speed at the drive-in in 1974. Oh, no, wrong movie. I saw this movie opening weekend. I went back to the movie theater for actually, I think all three of these movies, and also Rogue One. I decided to go back to the movie theaters and actually indulge and watch this on a big screen again. So that's that for me. I had a pretty pleasant experience watching it the first time. I had a different experience of watching it the second time, or the third time, actually. I think this is the third time, but it's been a long time since I've seen it. It's been a number of years.
Yeah.
So, Patrick, when did you first see it?
I saw this opening day.
Cool.
This was we had the dawn of the app. You could buy tickets through the app. Stand
Yes.
in line, and we had exams, and so I was off a little early. And I lived downtown near a movie theater, and said, "This isn't interesting." I saw it opening day. I managed to get, but it is interesting in the context of if you come from the '70s. Seeing anything big opening day is not guaranteed because there would have been, multi-hour lines around the block.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
we didn't have that.
Yep.
And I still can't get over that experience.
Yeah. What I remember when I went to see Star Wars, it was the first week or so, and it was still really, really busy. And this is in little teeny tiny Brewer, Maine, and there were still lines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Butch, when did you see this? Did you go? I'm sorry.
I was not there opening weekend. I was not there. I I don't think I even saw it in the theaters, to be honest with you.
Wow.
What's funny is a mutual friend of ours, he saw it opening weekend. And he called me. He said, he called me that phrase, like, I saw it. I said, okay. I said, well, my favorite character is Darth Vader. Is he in it? No. Okay. Boba Fett? No. The Emperor? No. And I'm like going through the characters, and I'm like, the only hero I really like is Luke Skywalker, and he's in it. Is he in it? He's like, do you want me to spoil it? And I'm like, oh, God. Like, he's literally in the last scene. I'm like, well, I don't
That's it.
know shit about
Yeah.
this movie.
It's a total setup for the next movie. No doubt about that. Yeah.
So I honestly think I watched it on home video sometime later. So probably a few months later, just because it's like, I don't know how my feelings translate to other fans, but all the characters I cared about were gone.
Right. Yeah. Well, for me, the focus was more on Solo and Leia and all of that sort of thing. And then the people that were energetically and action wise were going to be taking over for them. And so that was my focus on that. I had already heard that Skywalker's not going to be in it until the last 5 minutes or 10 minutes, whatever. Somebody said it to me, who had seen it like the day it opened, and I saw it like the next day or the day after that. So I was already prepared for that.
The construction of the movie was such that I appreciated that they were busy enough doing stuff that I didn't really notice that Luke wasn't in it. I mean, Mark Hamill was in it at some point, but I wasn't going, where's Mark? Where's Mark?
Yeah, it didn't hurt my feelings at all.
Now, later, somebody pointed out to me what I really wanted in the movie, but didn't know. It's one of those things where
sure,
the movie was okay, but and that was, you wanted to see the gang on screen together doing more than just a reunion movie acknowledgement, but actually operating as the unit we know and love. And a man who defended the film to an irrational extent, in my opinion, not that it's irrational to defend the film, but he would absolutely not concede. He would discuss nothing else.
Oh, okay.
And explain at me why I was incorrect, which of course is a skill I picked up. But all seriousness aside, is Perkins. I He said, no, the movie's too it's got main characters, it's got the new generation, it's got to establish them and put them in there. It's like, oh, not necessarily. Kind of, once I really started thinking about it, I think I would have been more satisfied. And this is a pointless rhetorical conversation. I get that, but
It's fine. It's fine. What are we here for? To have fun. Let's do it.
I would have I would have enjoyed more a Wrath of Khan sort of thing where, yes, you have the main characters together working as a unit, but you have them working at their age, and then you have Marcus and Savick and John Boyega, as they were in Wrath of Khan, clearly important to the story, clearly important to the narrative, but the story would be constructed such that it didn't occur to me that I was missing something. I mean, he also rationalized parts of the movie that kind of were like with me by saying, well, the movie's got to remind the audience and reassure them this is Star Wars. And I said, it's interesting. I picked up.
I didn't get pandering out of the movie. I didn't feel that way.
No. He didn't say pandering. He said, no, this must have, the audience must feel, after what Lucas did, the audience must feel confident that this is Star Wars.
But that smells like pandering to me.
Yeah. It does. And I said to him, Stephen, I picked up on that this was Star Wars by the subtle clue the words Star Wars
at the beginning of the film
went to see,
and the music
poster sign that said Star Wars. The Star Wars theme blared at me at the beginning, and the words Star Wars going up.
That's right.
All of those were, now call me a detective of semiotics.
A clever trick.
That I was watching a Star Wars movie. I mean,
you weren't fooled at all by all of those diversions.
It could have been an episode of Good Times that followed after that, and Good Times would have thus become part of the Star Wars universe.
That would have been great. All of a sudden, you see the disembodied head of JJ.
Yeah, I mean, shit. Can you imagine what a Jedi John Amos would have made?
Oh, awesome. Forget about it. He wouldn't have had a. He would not have had a sword. He would have had a broadsword.
He would have been the greatest Jedi. I mean, seriously. God, I love John. He's terrific.
Yes. He was terrific. Absolutely.
This movie was directed by J.J. Abrams, written by
yes, it was.
Michael Arndt. Produced by Kathy. I could not pronounce it. Produced by Kathleen Kennedy, J.J. Abrams, and Brian Burke. Cinematographer is Dan Mindel. Music by John Williams, of course.
Yes, John.
Release dates: December 14th, 2015, Hollywood, Los Angeles. December 18th, 2015, United States. Budgets $638.9 million. $539.5 million net. The gross is budget. Box office $271 billion.
Wait, no, billion?
Billion.
No, you sure it's not 2.71 billion?
2.071 billion.
That internationally and everything.
Yeah, billion.
Yeah, it's huge.
That's not 200 billion.
No, 2.7
billion. Okay, got it. Yeah, all right.
2.071 billion.
Yeah, that's enough moolah.
That's
I think the world's gross national.
That's over three times their budget. So
yeah. I saw this movie on television. I did not see any of these in theater. I really enjoyed Adam Driver as the antagonist of this movie. Really, really terrifying to a degree. Daisy Ridley's character is interesting. I always view these movies as remakes of the original three.
There are hearkenings. They're deliberate, obviously.
Well, in the first movie, you don't just get a desert planet; you get a snow planet. So you get Hoth, all that, and you get sort of part of the Empire Strikes Back. It's sort
Yeah.
of in this movie to a degree,
Mhm.
just not because the biggest death you get is obviously Han Solo. But we all knew that at this point in time, Harrison Ford was on a mission to kill all his characters off that he ever played, and that's okay. Um,
They wouldn't let him do it to Indiana Jones, but he kind of
no,
retired instead.
yeah, he
So
retired. He retired. He retired. Uh, so, guys, is there any issues with the plot of this movie? Or anything?
I didn't really, because it's kind of a nice romp. It goes. So I didn't really have, I mean, I'm sure I could like slice and dice and find places in it, but I just decided to really enjoy it. And it was kind of a nostalgia trip for me, which, parts of it are intended to be. But I had a lot of feels about watching this film, actually, that I didn't intend to have when I decided to watch it this afternoon. I watched it between two shows. I'm technical standby for the show that we just opened. So in between shows, I come home because I'm only 10 minutes away from the theater and feed the dog and feed myself. And that's when I watched the film. I had a couple of hours. And I didn't expect to be sort of smitten emotionally by the whole thing, but I was. For whatever reason, I went with it. I didn't resist it. The only thing that I found that that jarred me out of it was as much as I've liked Adam Driver and some of the things that he's done, I I I couldn't grab a hold of him that much. He was kind of a whiner in this movie.
Tremendously,
Yeah,
tremendous.
and I mean, I understand that he's supposed to be the offspring, and so he's kind of this overgrown child emotionally. So I got that, but it just seemed a bit much. It seemed a
Yeah,
bit much
I mean,
in terms of that.
I
But
don't care. Yeah, I don't care who his grandfather is or any of that.
yeah,
Anyone who behaves that way on an expensive military vessel, I don't care how much force power they're going to have. There's a button that says vacuum,
and
and
they're
somebody,
gone.
yeah, somebody in engineering is just going to, what, I've had it with this guy,
Yeah.
and he has not proved enough competence
The thing
to
is,
get away with that stuff.
right, to have that much force power and still be as undisciplined as he is. That was the one thing about this movie I did
That's
not like.
that's the whole essence of the force is
Discipline. That's right. Focus and discipline. However, the idea of him as a villain, I had no problem with. The idea of him being the son of, Leia and Han, I had no problem with that either. I thought that was kind of a cool idea.
Well, if I were Han, I'd kind of be looking around to find out who the father was.
Yeah, no, because he doesn't seem to have any of the attributes of either of them.
No physical resemblance to him
But
whatsoever.
we kind of find out about the betrayal and the sort of misapprehension that causes this later, but not in this movie. We don't find out about it in this movie at all. It's the next movie that we find out about it. But again, I was enamored of the action. I liked all of the space battle sequences. I thought they were pretty cool. I liked our pilot, our super pilot. I liked Finn, and I love Rey. I just absolutely adore her. I think she's some of the fanboys were a little grumpy that she's so female, that kind of crap. But I never bought that at all. I thought she was great. I thought she was, I thought her revelatory experiences to find out she had all this force energy in her was great. I thought all of that worked out nicely. Because the whole movie's about her discovering things about herself.
Yeah.
Among all this other adventure and danger and all of that sort of thing. So I love that. I got off on that, and also the parallels between she and Luke's experience, or orphaned, desert planet, naive when it comes to the greater universe, all of that sort of stuff. Not sure of the Force and all of that sort of stuff. But Rey is different in that she doesn't have a master, which
That's what I was
is
about to say, and it
she,
makes her.
it's
It makes
kind
her.
of good,
It
you
makes
know?
her easier,
Yeah,
and she has to show this gumption on her own
right.
and figure this stuff out. Whereas Luke, who's a character I really like, don't get me wrong,
Yes, of course.
seems almost a little more passive in that, Ray seems to be very intentionally,
Yeah,
on her own trying to do this. And when no Yoda shows up, she's like, okay, well, I'll
right.
figure.
She's no Padawan. I mean, she already knows how to, she has an innate plus an experiential ability to pilot. She knows how to do that, even though she doesn't know how to pilot the Falcon Millennium. She figures it out because she's piloted other stuff.
Sure. Now,
So she has competency in a multitude of areas in life.
and
She's a competent person.
I think Luke does too. It's just we
Yeah.
don't see Luke in the situations where he had to do that. Now,
No, he tinkers with the with the scooters, the desert scooters, and all that sort of
and we
thing.
never
So yeah,
saw the first time he stepped into what, a T-38.
A T16.
A T-16. Yeah, so we didn't see this when he stepped into that for the first time. He
But
might have had the same experience.
but there
Yes.
was an important line there where he says, "I used to bullseye womp rats with my T16 back home." That's not here. They're 2 meters, and the other pilot just kind of came like, "You did what?"
yeah, yeah,
He doesn't realize
yeah.
what what
That's
he's
the naive part of him.
beyond their.
Yeah, that he's that much far beyond. He has no ego about any of it, and neither does Ray. Ray doesn't have ego about it. She has, she's like, get out of my way if you're not going to help. She's got that kind of stuff. She has forward momentum, and she does really great at that. But she also loves the people around her. She forms relationships and bonds with the people around her. So, and of course, so does Luke. So do the other original characters. They definitely do. And when we finally get to see,
That's a benefit for her.
What's that?
Perhaps that's a bit for her because you don't have that structure that the Jedi forced on Anakin, and she's free to. Patrick here. Just a quick side point. We played in a Star Wars role playing game. He played a gray Jedi or a gray Sith. Force user.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So Rey is kind of. I won't say she's in between, but she's not a Jedi. She's obviously not a Sith. So she's not, she hasn't really bought into, and I hate to sound like Palpatine, she's not bought into the dogma.
No, she's had no influences either way. She's been collecting junk for years to survive, and she has no influences in terms of what the Force means to her. Obviously, I think the Force's first influence over her is her intellectual variety. She's really good with her hands, but she's also smart. And she, she's just an entirely competent person outside of the Force. So anyway, I love her. Absolutely adore her. Yeah. Love what she's doing.
I think too, what really helps her character too is her and John Boyega's character really have great chemistry. You can sense a great friendship between the two of them.
Mm-hmm.
The two characters as they're bonding together. Boyega is what I love about Harrison Ford's character here in this movie. He tells Boyega, she knows you're lying. It's a woman. She'll figure out you're lying.
You're lying. So he takes his advice and he tells her the truth.
He tells her the truth.
And I love Finn's journey too, because you get to see the inside of a stormtrooper who is not a zombie, who has thoughts of his own and reservations of his own and bad experiences that they've all had because they've all been snatched at one point or another. So I really like his journey too, and the fact that he's scared and he lies and he tries to put on a brave face and all of that sort of thing is innately human under a situation like that, So I
Yeah,
like them a lot together. You know, Jewel, you make a really good point on that. So
Go
yeah,
ahead, Butch.
they have the three of them have a bond kind of innately. And I remember the first time I watched this, I'm like, oh, here's Luke Jr., here's
Mhm.
Leia Jr., here's Han
Sure.
Jr. But by the same, and dismissively that's correct, but it's also wrong because there's a little bit of Rey's a little bit of Luke, she's a little bit of Leia, she's a little bit of Han.
Yeah.
Poe is pretty much Luke with some Han. And Finn is to me, he's very Han because he's the former military, or excuse me, former Imperial military person who
Now
this
he's
for
now he's a
me.
renegade. Now he's a renegade. Yeah,
And
and I think it's a reasonable assumption to make that. Oh yeah, they're archetypes from the original characters, especially at the beginning of the movie when they're
at the
first
beginning,
introduced. You can kind of see where they fit, and then they kind of expand the characters and make them a little bit more layered, and which is good. I like most of the writing in this movie. Actually, the dialogue is way better than some of the other
oh gosh,
movies that we've seen. Uh, and some of the characters that are just sort of sidebar characters when they go to the bar. Uh, that little female critter who owns the bar and is 1,000 years old. I forget her name now.
Guinan, I think.
Yeah, Guinan.
Oh,
But when,
I
when
didn't.
they when they find the lightsaber,
Yeah,
uh,
it's Guinan.
yeah. Anyway, she's cool. She's a cool little character.
Maz is her name.
Yeah, Maz. That's right. She's very cool, and she's very reminiscent. She's played by an Afro Caribbean actress, so she has that sort of sensibility. You know, it's great. It's wonderful. I like it a lot.
That's
Um,
that's really done in the shadow. I mean, this Ahmed Best, who's dialogue. I can't believe it. Dude, we're dealing with someone trying to call through. Needless to say, um,
okay.
so, but yeah, I think that might have been on purpose. That
Mm,
at some point in casting this, I would hope JJ sat down and said, I've got to kind of not apologize for what we did before, but do it right.
do it right, and it is. It's a rich character.
It is.
It's very sincere character. And yeah, she's one of the great moments in it. She's only in it for what, 15 minutes maybe, and then but that's
You know,
you know
the cool thing about that character is that I feel like I have known her, as a character, like in the universe. And that's the thing about many of the characters in this film. It could be that they are archetypes rather than stereotypes.
she's a
But
wise woman.
yeah,
She's a wise woman,
when I see
definitely.
most Crone, yeah,
Yeah.
and even Hux, it's like, oh, okay, it's that guy, but
Mm-hmm.
in the right way.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Now, Hux,
Archetypical rather than stereotypical. You're right. You grasp that perfectly, I think, in terms of that.
Hux is responsible for some of my favorite moments in Rise of Skywalker.
Mm-hmm.
Where, and the one thing I really wish is that he actually had been a deep sleeper agent for the rebels the whole
Right.
time.
The whole time. Yeah.
That if I can just sort of grab the wheel for just a second,
Sure.
that is it'll be a McCray second, so you can relax.
It's okay.
The wacky part politically about this movie that I wish it had gone into a little bit more is that in the prior films, you had the Empire, obviously the government,
Mm-hmm.
and then the rebel were the rebels. And in this, it's the First Order, but they're not first, and and they're not the government. They are the rebels in this
Mm-hmm.
case, and I think,
But they're Nazi. They're Nazis.
Well, yeah, I mean, but they're Nazi rebels,
Yes.
So basically the Confederate.
Yes.
But seriously, folks, the so wait, let me get this straight. So the rebels in the previous film took over, and they're running the government, but somehow they're the resistance. But resistance implies the little guy, and then you have this incredibly well-funded oh, hello, MAGA. This incredibly well-funded fascistic organization that's coming in, but they're the first order, but they're not. But shouldn't they be the rebels?
Think of the Empire as the Tea Party and the First Order as MAGA. Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
In advance.
But yeah, I kind of wonder who's running the show.
Yeah, I think we're going to find out in another movie, at least partially, but not in this movie for sure. We got this Snoke guy, right?
Well, yeah, he's a guy who likes to hang out in his robe,
and he doesn't like to be where he's talking either, because he's always like a hologram.
That explains the size issue?
Yeah, I think so. I think you say, "Make me huge" when I talk.
Enlarge me. Enlarge me.
I want to be 8 times my normal size. And I think there's definitely something to that.
What if he had been green and wore a toga of leaves? Oh. Anyway.
And call him Oberon.
You'll make an ass out of me yet. The bottom of it.
But anyways, we know that Snoke is some kind of authority figure, but
but now as it turns out, he's just a goofy clone of Palpatine that didn't really go right. Like
his whole face is all messed up and yeah. Yes.
You should have seen him.
He used to look like Demi Moore.
Yeah.
He fell apart. Yeah. But that's interesting. You always got. I mean, when I went into this movie, I'm going, okay, so Kylo is an archetype and a guy who's obsessed with Darth Vader. Okay,
yeah,
so we figured that out really quick, which means he's got a boss somewhere. He's the boss of his world, but there's a bigger world out there, just like there was with Darth Vader.
Butch Rosenbalm.
He's murdered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You said you wouldn't change anything. I would change one kind of.
Oh, I'd change Kylo Ren's character a little bit. I would change that, but yeah.
Patrick, we were watching it here, and Patrick said, Kylo Ren showed up, and he kept waiting for the villain to show up. There needs to be a Darth Vader in this film.
Yes, yeah, and if it's going to be Kylo Ren, you need to retool the character because he's too. So. It's okay to have him conflicted once in a while, but it has to be cracks, not the this emotional stuff that's happening all the time.
Yeah, when he's slicing up the command center with his lightsaber, it's like, what are you, 8?
Yeah, exactly. He's having a tantrum. And at that point, I kind of realized this guy is not only innately flawed, but he can't control himself. So how is he controlling the Force?
Yes.
That's my biggest complaint about this movie is that inconsistency with and sort of in bizarre character traits and psychological and physical gestures that he has.
A great moment. I hate going down the could have been, but because I believe that these movies would really benefit, and this comes the closest of any of them to having moments where it just sort of cuts away to two regular people talking about what's going on in a way that we would. And yes. I imagine an old timer, in his late 50s, who still is enlisted or something like that, turning to his assistant and be like, I served on the executor and with Vader. Yeah, I served with Vader. Let me tell you, when Vader was there, you might have regretted it, but you weren't kind of rolling your eyes and exhaling loudly the way most of the admirals are here in a meeting with Kylo Ren. But this guy, listen, I'm part of the tech crew that just kind of follows him around
and fixes shit that he breaks.
we wait for him to break things. And Louis, here's the secret. We've started making entire rooms for him that are just like Irwin Allen sets. It's just
That's
like
right. They're not the real thing.
don't do anything,
Yeah.
and we
So he
just
can
have
smash them.
let it out, Kylo.
Okay, and now here's the real
Yeah, he's making
bridge.
You're the real things. Are you kidding? Yeah. We would crash. This big spaceship, we would crash. Who knows what he's
seriously? Yeah, and he has. Even though I think there's a little bit more focus to what's going on with him in the second movie, he still has these rage episodes. He still has these rage episodes.
You know, they don't have anything to smooth that out. You know, like they any kind of
a pill. Here, take this balanced force pill.
Yeah, they don't have selects in the future.
Yeah.
Even the Sith are supposed to be powered by anger and whatnot, and that's fine. It's not childish.
Yeah, it's not petulance.
No, it's not. You know, it's more like petulance. It's more like revenge is a dish best served cold kind of anger. You know,
Kylo Ren is fueled by I want presents.
Yeah.
Daddy didn't love me enough. I mean, he sounds like Elmer Fudd. You know,
and I don't really think this is any great fault of, like I say, Driver is a good actor. He really is. No. But I think it's just that that character needed to be written better with more consistency and more logical progression. I think, and that would have served it better. All the other relationships, love them. I love it when, you know, again, I'm just a sucker when Solo and Chewie show up. Total sucker. Having a great time with all of that. When we finally see Leia, older, cynical, but somehow still hopeful. Love it. Great. It's a total reflection of who Carrie was. You know,
except I do feel like I'm watching a preview for The Substance.
Because
she's so young. She's so
well. She talked about, and she talked about the fact that they made her lose like 30 pounds. You know, that they needed her to do that, and she bitched about that on talk shows, you know, months before the movie came out.
I would have too,
but also she had some other face. Stuff done. And I think there was also maybe a little smoothing in post-production as well.
Definitely.
Because her face was a little bit different looking, you know, as a near 60-year-old. It was a lot different looking actually than when she was a, you know, dewy-eyed 20-something. Sure. So I mean that's only fair. But she had some work done that had sort of altered her general countenance over the years.
I have, for my own conscience, when I sort of speak snarkily about that, it is with this virtue in mind, not making fun of someone for trying to look younger, but actually kind of making fun of J.J. Abrams for wanting her to look like something she's not.
She's not, right.
She was, when they made the movie, was great.
Yep.
It was fine. It didn't need anything.
Yeah. Yeah. No, so I agree. We're talking about people who have lived and they're older, and let them be that. They certainly let Han be that. He's gray. He's you know, he's kind of hangdog and he's got a lot more lines on his face.
C-3PO, the funniest line in the movie. C-3PO, the funniest line in the movie. Oh, you didn't recognize me because my red arm.
Yeah,
very funny line.
Pretty good.
Very funny line.
Yep. I also love the new droid. I thought he's just the cutest little thing.
Fun, yeah. It's a clever design, a practical design.
Yes.
Also practical.
Yes. And he has his own personality too. You know, he's feisty like R2 in a lot of ways. He questions Rey's decision making on several occasions, the way R2 does with some of the other characters. So and I thought that they left R2 to become this really important thing, and have him revived at just the time when that's here's the rest of the map. He's got the rest of the map.
He's like Paul Harvey.
Yeah,
Now the rest of the
the
story.
rest of the story. Yeah, but I thought that was fine. I mean, it is kind of Deus ex machina, literally machine, and not exactly God in the machine, but anyway, there it is. So I didn't mind any of that. I went along for the ride, and with the understanding that it's not a perfect film, but I just had a great time with it overall.
Been someone conspicuously silent here, and I think he's a fan of young Ben Solo, and I want to hear from him.
Maybe, yeah. Are you there, Jewel?
He's going to go. Yeah, I'm here. So weary.
There he is.
Here, what's up?
There he is. We want your
Yeah,
take
what's
on
up?
what's going on. We've been jabbering away.
So
Well,
what
I
are your
think-
thoughts, Joel?
Well, I think with a lot of the nostalgia characters we see, first of all, they do a good job. I think the one thing this movie does correctly is because, again, when you go in watching a movie, it's what's your expectation? When I watch a trailer, I literally watch one trailer. I watch the teaser trailer. I don't watch any other trailers when I go see whether it appears on TV or whether I go see it in theaters. So I only watched the one trailer for this movie. And when I finally got to sit down and watch this movie, I avoided like the spoilers. I was shocked to see Han Solo's character get killed and the way Kylo Ren killed him.
Yeah.
I think that is, it brought the stakes and the harsh reality that this guy's a son of a bitch. And okay,
Yeah, I agree, and I think they handled it as well as they could, considering that it was an insistence on Harrison Ford's part.
yeah.
This is I'll do it, but you're going to knock me off. You're going to knock the character off.
I did like Harrison's interview when he was doing Blade Runner. They said, "Do you want to kill off all your characters?" You bet your ass I do. So that was a good interview. That's funny.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
I do
He has
like
a sense of humor about these things.
Daisy Ridley does a really good job of bringing something out of everybody in this movie. Whether it's Adam Driver, whether it's Sean Bogey. Great job, because she had great chemistry with all of them.
Yeah, and you see at the end of the movie, she's about to do the same thing with Luke.
Yeah, and my favorite scene is the lightsaber battle in the snow with Kylo Ren, Daisy Ridley's character, and Finn.
It's pretty cool. Yep.
Very, very good. Do I feel it was a little too Disney-ish? I mean, because again, when you think about the old lightsaber battles, people were losing hands and shit. A bit. I think Disney got a little nervous when they saw, because again, this is a kids company making a movie about a war,
and they're also toys to be promoted.
Yeah.
And have been ever since the first movie. So I mean, that's nothing new there.
And I know a lot of people give Kathleen Kennedy is her name, I think.
Yeah,
they give her a lot of shit. I do think there's things she deserves, shit for. But I think you can't completely fault her without faulting Walt Disney, the Disney company. But so I don't hate this movie. I like it for the most part. I don't have any the biggest issue I think I have is for the overall is something you guys have been saying is I think the only really the baddest thing Kylo Ren really does that sort of is that important is killing his own father. They needed to develop.
You mean killing an old man who wants a hug?
Yeah,
because that's basically
what he does. Yeah.
Well, I mean, look, every no hugs.
But
yeah, Julie Sings is ready to kill Han Solo here. But yeah, I do think there's. I think you need more development with certain villains with this, especially him. Again, too much reliance on Darth Vader worship a bit to. I don't need that. I don't need you to worship Darth Vader to be evil. me personally, I do think again Adam Driver's is a good enough actor if you give him. Again, it's not him; it's the way the character's written.
It's the way it's written. Yes.
Yeah,
Absolutely. I
I'm
agree.
not, I'm not shitting on him. I'm just the writing needs to be a little better there. But I think where the writing is good is the character interactions are really great, and
Mhm.
so I do. I don't think they phoned in the writing.
No,
I just
no,
think
it's just that one character they weren't. It's like they weren't quite sure what to do with it, or maybe they were arguing over what direction to go or something.
Well, I think we're all Dark Shadows fans here, and we've all talked several times about how the writers didn't know where they were taking Barnabas. I think honestly, the writers had no real plan of what the hell to do with Snook and Driver's character. And I do think that's where the problems kind of begin for this trilogy a bit. Their plans are iffy at best. I'm not saying they're completely lost, but to go from Snook being this menacing force to killing him in the next movie feels like an overreach, almost almost like a course correction in a weird way.
And again, it's the Kylo Ren character, Ben, Kylo, whatever you want to call him. The conflict inside of him is not. It's this sudden swings that are reflective in the tantrums and everything else that he has. That I think is just not as well thought out, not as sophisticated as it could be.
Yeah, the dog's just trying to kill me. Okay, she wants to get right beside my foot, and then I go to move, and I step on her. So freaking go down.
Oh my goodness. But yeah, so I do think there's issues certain ways, and we'll discuss that tomorrow night for The Last Jedi. But I give this movie an 8.5 out of 10. It's not horrible. What do you guys give it?
I like this movie enough to give it a 9.
Really?
Yeah.
Butch, what about you?
6.
I give it a 7.5. My concern about the movie is this, because we really didn't talk about that, but I don't have a lot to say. I get a little bored in some places. I wish.
Just wait till the next film.
Yeah, I know. I get a little bored, and I think it's because of this in really the original trilogy, and that just has to do with the style of writing at the time and the style of writing now. The original trilogy really has 3 films with very clear goals that the characters are going after. And at any point, if you were to check in with any audience member and say, okay, what does this character want and why is it important? They would be able to tell you.
Yes.
And maybe it's just I'm a creature of my time, but I like that. And I find that movies today, maybe it's just because I'm become a goofy old man, seem to, I don't know, I don't find the hook as easily, or the hook is mixing a whole lot of other hooks and crap flying around, and I like the elegance of Goldfinger versus the what the hell is going on of a Solace or something,
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you. There's issues with that in this movie. Some characters know exactly what they want, and other characters are what I call in formation in terms of what they want.
Yeah.
Like, and in some cases it's legit. Like Ray, it's legit. She's trying to figure out what the hell is going on with all of this stuff. She does have a focus on the loyalty to the people she cares about, which propels her. And also, she's developing this focus now that this guy, she's now focusing on this monster, So that's starting to develop with her. But other characters, it's like there are some other characters that you're right. They haven't formulated yet.
I wonder if I'm remembering correctly. It seemed like there was no one person in charge. They planned, Abrams was going to do this film, somebody else is going to do the next one. So there wasn't necessarily, this has been Solo, this is Snoke, this is Rey.
Right.
So everybody was coming up with it as they made their individual film, and that ends up causing some of these problems that you guys are talking about.
Yeah, sometimes the writer's room has too many writers in it.
And there's not,
or they don't have the same writers in it from one to the next.
We don't need all that. We just need a good bad guy.
And for the rich enough universe, you can get away with it. You only have Star Wars, the real one.
Mm-hmm.
And
well, they didn't even know it was going to be a series, I don't think.
That's right. That is not a movie written to be part of a series.
Right.
There's a cleanliness to that.
Yes.
That I really like. And yet, it started one of the great series of all time.
Mm-hmm.
And so, had I, in my final wisdom, had I done this, I would have done it so that this could have been a completely self-contained movie, but self-contained, containing characters so interesting and a backdrop so big that there are other places where you can
go. Yeah.
And that's what Star Wars did.
Yeah, I think there probably somebody in the production end of it, producer, were having influence on writers saying, now don't forget, we've got to make sure that we're like dangling the carrot of Luke throughout all of this because the second film is going to blah, blah, blah,
That's why Rian Johnson went through and said, like, Captain Phasma, gone. Snoke, gone. Just to focus us down so that by the time we got to the third movie, it was clear who we were dealing with.
And I'm going to say, I'm thankful he did that because there's some of these characters are just hanging around.
Like they don't know what to do with them. Yeah. Some of
Max von Sydow. We kept discussing this.
Great actor, wasted.
What is the point of him in this film?
Yeah, that's true. Fortunately for me, it didn't spoil it because it happened so early in the film. I was willing to forgive.
I kept waiting for him to show back up.
Yeah, it's what a waste of a brilliant friggin' actor.
Let it be Mindy Cohn. She needs a job. She needs a job.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
Yeah, could have been any number of other actors. I mean, he was brilliant with the few lines he had, but it's just not enough when it's Max von Sydow.
And Jillian.
Hey, yeah.
She
would have happily gone through that and been dispatched at the end and picked up the check.
I love Aunt Jillian.
It's a living.
It's a living. Starring Susan Sullivan, who was a ghost in Dark Ship. And that's your friend.
Yeah. Anne Jillian was, I always thought of her as being a genuine good person who just happened to be an actor, and a song and dance person. She was also, not jaded by the business or any of that sort of thing.
She was Tarna from Heavy Metal in real life.
Yeah.
The white hair,
Mm-hmm.
And Jillian doing Tarna. That's the thought. I'm not going to talk more about it.
And Jillian doing Angelique in the 91 series. Well, he would have fallen in love with her and just left it at that. So.
That would be it. It would have been Joanna who? Yeah, Joanna going back to central casting.
Yeah.
What about you, Joel? What's your rating?
I said I gave this an 8.5.
I didn't hear you.
Yeah.
Sorry. It's a good movie. I mean, it's entertaining.
Yep.
It does good character building. We've talked about this. They don't know what necessarily direction they're going with all these characters, and mainly they're villains, I would say. And if you don't know what you're doing with your villains fully, how the hell do you know what you're doing with your? It's weird because you see Finn, Rey band together even before Solo is killed because they're going on this adventure.
Mm-hmm.
And that's great. It's like they know what they're somewhat doing with their baby faces, but their heels are kind of up in the air of what they're doing.
Well, I think that's presuming promiscuousness on Rey's part. I'm talking about heels up in the air. That I think a little forward of you, Joel.
Wah, wah.
I don't think she's that kind of girl. And neither is John Boyega. Although, let me tell you, when John Boyega reunites with Oscar Isaac, if it's not one of the most homoerotic, I mean, like every other,
It's a homoerotic hug.
it
It
looks like
is.
they're about to kiss.
Yeah.
Their faces are a little close
Yeah.
for anything other than that.
You talk about a bond.
That's right.
Yeah. But ultimately, it is a good bond, even with all of that later.
I have a feeling, in the name of DEI and as wacky as Disney's gotten, that may have been a thing, because then that would have cleared up the fangirl crush of
Sure.
Adam and Ray.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, I don't mind the Ray Kylo thing, because attraction repulsion is really good in drama.
Yes.
You know, it that concept doesn't bother me a bit.
But the BB-8 Hux shipping that went on was the line.
BB-8's blocking all over the place.
Spin.
I don't want that in my head.
It's sort of like, bone.
Is there
So
anything
that's my job in the theater, folks, so that you know.
technical?
That's what I do.
BB-8 gets spot.
My other things.
He's showing us his job pass, so no one questions when the bodies start turning up.
That's what you said.
Is there anything you guys want to add about this movie before we go?
No, it's a great discussion, guys.
Well, it was good.
Really stimulating. I think the four of us are having a good little ride here. So appreciate it.
I just wish someone had given Ben's father a hand. Sorry. I'll sing myself out.
He doesn't need that. He's Dan Solo.
God. Oh my God.
Joe doesn't say, "Oh my God," at least once. I feel like we really
a new musical on Broadway, Kylo Rent.
My character like Onan Solo would have been.
You know who should have voiced? I love Andy Serkis. You know who should have voiced Snook? You know who should have, in a sense, been Snook? I mean this. I mean this. If they would have developed the character, and you don't necessarily, you don't have to show him. You could do sort of a Wizard of Oz thing, in a sense. Mickey Rourke.
Mickey
Rourke.
Oh, I thought you said Vicki Lawrence.
No, Mickey Rourke.
I really did.
Because he's got such a menacing voice. He's a good actor, and yet again, I'm not taking anything away from Andy, but
he's no.
my opinion. So
what you're saying is that you want Mickey Rourke to voice Snooki.
Yes, exactly. And when you dial Snooki's phone number, you get Mickey Rourke on the phone. Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Hi, this is Snooki.
I'm exhausted. It's a decathlon of shtick.
Yes.
Link to Patrick McCray's Dark Shadows Day book about is going to be in the description box. Link to Butch Rosenbalm's YouTube channel is going to be in the description box. Link to Alan and Gallant's YouTube channel, Colin Sport After Dark, is going to be in the description box. You guys have a great night. See you tomorrow.
Let's do this tomorrow.
Yeah. Have a good night, guys.
Peace out.